Hello Capricorn, welcome to the Plaid Sheep Oracle. If ever there was a reading that was about an astrological transit, this seems to be it. The imminent departure of Pluto from your sign. He will not return there for more than 200 years. You begin with this Honor Your Holy Days card. And the card is about honoring whichever days, if you have seasonal holidays and whatever your ways of marking the year are. So if you celebrate the solstice or Beltane or Christmas or whatever your holiday is, and that you need to be able to do it when you are alone. This is the Into the Lonely Woods Oracle. So there's this sense in the Oracle of doing things, alone. But what this is really feeling like today is that the your is emphasized. Honor your holy days. So choosing what you personally want to mark and honor. Aquarius has all these beautiful aspects of holding the individual and the community together, being able to work together, having innovative thoughts, change that is both interesting and exciting, but also has structure. But it also has this other side of the hive mind in a negative sense, the sort of the Borg hive mind, where progress at all costs, or fitting in rather than belonging, going along with the group, the tyranny of the majority. And that one of the things that I think we will all need to be very clear on over the next 20 years, and probably beyond, because these things don't just end when planets leave signs, is who we are individually. What is mine? What do I believe? What do I stand for? And how can I hold that while also fitting into the community? How do I hold both of those things together? But that I must be very clear on my own values. The scene underlying here is, interestingly, what did we lose? And then at the bottom of the deck we have, and yet the path grows lighter. So whenever there is a change, there may be a sense of loss. If you move to a new house, there's lots of good stuff, but there may be a sense of, the old house had that really great pantry that maybe I don't have now, or it had, that beautiful oak tree in the backyard, or whatever. So there's a sense of something that is no more when we make a change. So there is holding that too. I think that we can hold on to things even that are difficult, right? Because they're familiar. And there may be that sense as Pluto exits. I almost see it like there's this bubble, like an energetic bubble that Pluto is going to push through and out of and into Aquarius. And, you know, almost like the bubble stretches before he bursts through it. I know there's something about that passage. And though I think you will feel lighter when he's gone. I think he gets a bad rap, Pluto. I think that Pluto, the planet, Pluto, the originator of this energy, has only good intentions for change and the right use of power and transformation. But, right, because we're human and, you know, we can be kind of messed up, we can take that energy and do kind of scary things with it. So he is, and also, you know, he is powerful, he is intense energy. So I think that you will feel lighter when he leaves, but there may also be a little bit of a sense of loss because he also, you know, opens up all of these doorways into the other world and into the underworld, and although the door, you know, it's not like the door closes completely. You still will have access to this, but it may not seem as wide open, perhaps. I think there will be a little bit of a sense of loss when Pluto moves on. And that's perfectly normal and perfectly okay. I mean, he's been in Capricorn since 2008. It's a long time in human terms. So we start here with the deer. It says gentleness and diplomacy. And I think that is both towards yourself for all of the ways that maybe you're going to feel in the coming months as you get used to this new energetic reality for yourself, but also towards others. And then interestingly, below that is this restriction card. And the immediate thought I had is that the road is closed. Right? The road into the past is closed. This is, you know, moving on. Pluto is not returning to Capricorn again in our lifetime. The road back is closed. And then the unseen underlying is trust. So the road, right, this road that is back is closed. And there's this new road. And it looks a little, right, it looks a little bumpy maybe. We don't know where it's going. It's someplace we haven't been. And we need to have trust as we go down the road. Because what lies ahead here is pretty great. We have wealth, all kinds of wealth, feeling, right? A feeling of wealth, of having like the wealth that comes from a knowingness, from understanding, from clarity, from confidence. Then birth, rebirth. Well, what I think we will feel, or what Capricorn, the Capricorn energy will feel. And then protection, which I think comes from this sense of knowingness. That Pluto's gift to Capricorn was to give you a sense of your own power. That, I think, was part of his purpose, to give Capricorn a sense of its own power, its own magic in the world, its own medicine. And so we have Ask, the personal Yggdrasil. You've been hanging there for a long time. A lot longer than the 9 days that Odin hung there. Certainly in human terms, it's felt like a long time. 15, 16 years. Solidly. Of hanging in this Yggdrasil tree. But I think that you will find that it was worth it. Below that we have Ken. The torch, the divine spark. Right? That which you learned while you hung upside down in this tree. And then maybe unbeknownst to you, in the unseen underlying, we have leaf shade cradled. Then unbeknownst to you, you have been cradled. Right? In this birth, rebirth process. So we have this ice, the ice that's melting now. Learning to walk while holding consciousness in its vessel. And being caught out by life, but thriving and breathing deep. The ice melting. And the onwardness. Verdundi, the Norn of the present. And this gateway. And I mean, this actually is sort of looking a little bit to me like that bubble that I was thinking of. Right, that Pluto is going to push out through this bubble. The energetic bubble that surrounds Capricorn. Unpick the past, threaded traumas clogging your previous future pathways. Look not backwards nor forwards. The present stop is the right step. Or the present step, I'm sorry, is the right step. So that feels like advice to not take this too fast, right? That if Pluto is by pushing this bubble outward. To not, right, not expect sudden change in energy, to allow things their time. To sit with the present, whatever you feel in the present. To really allow yourself that time to just be here now. And then we have witchcraft, sorcery, elder. Mindfulness in the sphere of magic, but also recognizing yourself as the sorcerer, the sorceress, the magic maker. Recognize that this Plutonic transit has unfolded these gifts for you. And this doesn't mean that you know, will take this on as your profession necessarily. This is about how you proceed to move through the world. What distinguishes the really magical people is their ability to hold their own space, their own energy, to not get carried away on waves of, you know, public outcry or public opinion or panic, or, you know, even exaltation sometimes. To be a little bit removed from the melee. You know, it's like you've passed through some sort of initiation and you've been, right, you've come through this rebirth. And now you stand just a little bit apart. So that you can see things from a higher perspective, from a broader perspective. You have some real skills for yourself around your own emotional triggers and stuff that cause you to be reactive. Right? You won't be perfect at it. You just, right, allow it to continue unfolding. Because I think that as Pluto leaves and you begin to, you know, it's like having a teacher. And maybe the teacher was really intense and really magical and really skilled, and you learned all kinds of things. But while they're still there, you may feel great, like you're a little cramped. But when the teacher leaves and you, right, you're on your own, you know, go and hang out your own shingle, or you stand on your own 2 feet fully with no guardrails. So I'm mixing my metaphors here. Then you can really unfold. I mean, I imagine it's like this for any sort of intense profession, right? Like medicine, where you go through this whole training, and then there's, you know, the apprenticeship of the residency, right? When there's still, right, somebody else to take the ultimate responsibility. And then you pass through that and you're fully a doctor. And now it's all you. Right? Or a lawyer, or a teacher, or, you know, anything where you hold a lot of responsibility. And this is responsibility, Capricorn. You can commiserate with all of your friends who have lots of Aquarius placements. Say, I'm here for you. And so we have the Six of Air, the moving on, the going. I mean, this entire row is kind of this journey. Right? We have this going on here, and then actually right below, we have this messenger of water who also is right passing through this gateway. And then the bottom of the deck has the shaman. This underlying energy. Even if you have no intentions of being a shaman for your community, or of, you know, doing any kind of work in that way professionally or even publicly, this energy is still under there. Gate of water, heading out into the new ocean, right? The way back is shut, only forward. And then there's the Wheel of Life, which is the Wheel of Fortune in this deck. That you're, I don't know, there's a sense here of stepping out. There's also this callback a little bit to the holy days, right? Because this is the Wheel of the Year, the Witch's Wheel of the Year. We're approaching a solstice, whether winter or summer for you. So again, a sense, right, of being here now, really enjoying and savoring this moment in time. You know, not seeing this as some sort of task. You know, sometimes it can feel that way, to me anyway. You know, that on Beltane we do this, and on Samhain we do this, and then on Yule we do this. You know, feels very prescriptive to me. You know, I feel that way too about, you know, like Thanksgiving dinner here in the US. There are people who really, they like to have the same thing. It's very comforting to have the kind of the same dinner every Thanksgiving. You know, this is the one time of year that they have turkey, and that they have, you know, the string beans casserole and the cranberry sauce and pumpkin pie, right? It happens here, and they really derive a real sense of comfort in that. And if that's you, you go. But I don't feel that way. I am absolutely up for anything on Thanksgiving dinner. You know, you want to make lasagna. You want to make fondue. You want to make turkey. You want to make you know, a full-blown sort of Indian feast. I am there for it. And the same really with Christmas and Yule. However you want to celebrate that, I'm there with you. I am absolutely up for however you feel you want to do it. And so you should, I'm sorry, No should. It is suggested that maybe you figure out, Capricorn is the sign of tradition. And so it may be that people expect, if you have a lot of Capricorn energy, that you like the traditional thing. You don't want nobody to mess with your Thanksgiving dinner. Right? None of that, turkey casserole or, spaghetti carbonara for Thanksgiving. But that might not be true. It may be that what you feel is holy is not about the accoutrements. That what is holy for you is that you get together with the people that you care about. That you mark this day with gratitude, with appreciation, with joy, with savoring. That's what matters to you. So hold that, right, as we pass through this wheel of the year. Don't worry about what other people do, how they mark things. You can join them in their celebration if they'd like you to be there and show up for their turkey dinner. Or maybe there's other people around you who are all up for lasagna instead. And maybe it varies from year to year, because what really matters to you is that, right, that heart aspect of things. And so we have the ancestor. What is really the through line from your ancestors? I think we get really caught up in things, right? This was done this way, and so we need to keep doing it this way forever and ever. But sometimes we can forget, why? Right? Why did somebody 2,000 years ago choose to create this ritual? Does it still apply? There's a great book by Denise Lin called Intuitive Feng Shui. And the first part of the book has her discussing kind of the different schools of feng shui and how many things had to do with, geography in a particular place where something developed. Did it develop in a valley? Did it develop in the plains? This idea that the bathroom shouldn't be, near the kitchen, or shouldn't be developed because, it was a hole in the ground. Right? You didn't want to, right, mix that with your drinking water, right? That was dangerous. So there were real world reasons for many of the things that are, that a feng shui tradition may talk about that were relevant then. Maybe they're not relevant now, right? You've got plumbing. So it's important to know what is that holy day about? I've been rereading Ellen Langer's mindfulness books. She has several. The first one was called Mindfulness, and then there was the most recent one is The Mindful Body, about using your mind to create a healthier body, because the two are not disconnected, they're one. I mean, she even goes farther than the mind-body connection, and I totally am there for it. That it isn't like they're over here and just have communication. They are together. They're part of the same thing. So to not proceed on autopilot, right? What is it that the ancestors are really maybe trying to communicate with to you? You know, maybe what was their gift to you? What is the through line? You know, is it the relationship they had with nature? And you can create your own version now. You don't have to do the ritual that they did. You do yours. But you keep that, right, that feeling, that essence. And then we have the 9 of air. So the hive, but not in the sense of hive mind. Not in the sense of just going along because other people are doing it, that you feel like you, you know, mustn't do your own thing, that it's, you know, very important that you agree with everybody around you. But the community, where the individual has rights and privileges and responsibilities, and then the community has rights and privileges and responsibilities. And that it is possible for these things to work together. So then we have the star, Aquarius's card. And it's surrounded, one, by the hermit, who carries the star in his lantern. So, what is your star? Right? I sort of feel like that's what's glowing here too. What is your star, Capricorn? Know what it is. And then on the other, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. So there is all of this sovereign, follow your own conscience, keep your own counsel energy. That's, I think, going to be really important. We also have below the Hermit the Queen of Swords for discernment, clarity, knowing your own mind, and Justice. You know, how do you, right? How do you build harmony? How do you build a dynamic community? So we have the Three of Swords with sorrow. And then the Chariot. We are leaving. We are leaving that Three of Swords behind. You are going, Capricorn. And you're headed here for victory. Right? This is the bee deck. And bees, some bees live in a hive, but not all bees do. Some bees live individually. And then the Tower. So, change is coming, Capricorn. But I don't think, I mean, there is sort of a sense of lightning here, but it also, there is a sense of like a river, right? A kind of infiltration of change. Pluto's progress through Aquarius is 20 years. I think there will be things that happen quickly and then things that take a long time. And that it's important, like the awareness, the mindfulness, the consciousness, not moving on autopilot. Is going to be very, very important. And this ability to be a little bit apart. Now, a card that popped out when I was pulling this deck's cards, but it didn't want to be part of the row. It was sort of on its own, is this goddess of fire. And there's something, right? There's something here about where you're going. What I sort of see here is that it's like you stumble into this grove and you meet this goddess of fire. And you realize that she is you. Finding yourself, finding the powerful aspect of yourself. And she is Baba Yaga. You can see her house on chicken legs back here in the forest. You know, and she is this, right? She's this elder who lives in the woods. So again, this sense of being slightly apart, but also being, right, being available. You know, anybody from the local village that comes will be welcomed at your fire. You may give them an answer, or you may give them a challenge. There is a maturing happening here. Perhaps regardless of your age. It may be that if you are young, you know, in your early 20s or early 30s, that it might take time before you really feel this, but maybe not. If you cultivate it, if you choose to embrace this energy, rather than, you know, sort of running away, because it might, you know, there are reasons why you might want to reject it. It may seem like it's a lonely position, or it may seem, you know, if you have a tradition perhaps for yourself of really being active in the community and doing things and, you know, feeling like this is how life is, you might choose not to do it, or it might take a long time. I think that different Capricorns are going to have different experiences of this transit, of how they take up this mantle. Formal advice. 7 of Cups. Keep your options open. Certainly for the immediate future. Keep your options open. Do your best to see that there are perhaps many possibilities. Below that, we have the source of earth. Know yourself, right? Know this wealth, this protection, have this trust in your own abilities, in your own stability. Below that, we actually have the 6 of Swords appearing again. Be open to the mental shift that's going to happen. And then the bottom of the deck is the Hierophant, another energy of self rule, of personal power, and also of community leadership, but not, I mean, we had the Emperor also coming out at the bottom. So it could be that there is leadership here, but I think that it won't be, like a really, I think it'll be almost a hidden leadership. So, you know, not being the CEO, being, you know, like the CEO's right-hand person, or being someone further down the chain who is a real influence, right? I think that maybe there will be leadership, but it won't be obvious. The Fool kind of goes with the Tower. Right? Be ready for whatever bright stuff is coming. So don't close off any doors. Be flexible. Then we have the Scout of Earth. Know that the energy comes first. Change starts in the energetic sphere. It can be difficult to remember this. We all grew up in the physical world. We see life in physical terms. But this was part of Pluto's gift to you. To understand the non-physical, energetic reality of the universe. And then the Ten of Swords. Let the past go. The past is in the past. The past is not a map to the future. I actually think I should write that down and stick it up somewhere, maybe in several places around my home, so that to remind myself. I think it's one of the ways that you know, our more fearful aspects use to keep us where we are, right? Pulling us into the past. So remind yourself, the past is not a map to the future. Choose to see possibility. I mean, that's one of the things that Ellen Langer talks about in her mindfulness book, is that they did an experiment where if they told people this thing is this, do you have another use for it? People could come up with a few new uses. But if they didn't tell them what something was, if they just said, we have this thing, we have no idea what it is, what do you think it's for? People would come up with a whole long list. So having a preconceived idea limits your possibilities, Capricorn. Keep your options open. Keep your options open, Capricorn, as we move, as Pluto makes this transit, and as we move into your season here, all right, into the Capricorn space, into the solstice space, where the sun stands still and then pivots and goes in the other direction. Oh, Capricorn, I think it's exciting. I hope that you feel it's exciting. I wish you all the very, very best, and I will see you next time. So long.